necessary for this one because what is this Bhagavata Mahapuranam? Many people, I am sure, many people have not had the fortune of having heard a Purana completely or having actually understood the meaning of the word Puranam. What is the meaning of the word Veda? What is the meaning of the word Smriti? What is the meaning of the word Shruti? What exactly does Upanishad mean? So what does the Puranam mean? What is the Mahabharatam? What is that Mahabharatam? What is the Ramayana? So all these queries, they continue to be there. They continue to be in the minds of many people. And if to put it in one word, right from the Vedas, Smritis, and all these Mahabharatam, Ramayanam and the Purana, they are the treasure of Bharat. They are the khajana of Bharat. And this treasure is not only the treasure of Bharat, we could boldly proclaim that this is the treasure of the world. This is the complete knowledge of man right from the very inception, from the creation, from the time of creation. So once we read this one, we will understand the depth of these Puranas. Remember, just to get an idea of the date of these Puranas. How old are these Puranas? You know that the Bharatiya Samskriti, the Bharatiya culture, what we call as mainly the Vedic culture, Vaidika Samskriti, or we call it as Bharatiya Samskriti, it is based upon the entire scriptural texts only. It's only later on that many other foreign cultures came into this culture, and then there was a lot of mixtures. And there were a lot of mixtures, and then there were a lot of changes. But basically, the Bharatiya culture is from the Vedas. The Bharatiya culture is from the Puranas. The Bharatiya culture is from the Ramayana. The Bharatiya culture is from the Mahabharata. So when we talk about these things, you should understand that these are the original sources of knowledge. Who is the author of this? When we talk about a book, we say, who is the author? Who is the person who wrote this? So we know that the Bharatiya scriptures, long before they were written, long before they came in the form of a script which could be read, long before. When I say long before, it's not 100 years or 200 years, it's tens of thousands of years ago. Tens of thousands of years ago, this particular entire text, I'm talking about this one, it has got 12,000 verses. To put it in other languages, 12,000 shlok. 12,000 shlokagalu, 12,000 shlokam. These 12,000 verses, if you just see each and every verse and the beautiful how they have formed these verses, to understand what is one verse. What is this one verse means? I'll tell you. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya is one verse. Yatra yogeshwara krishno yatra partho dhanurdhara tatra shri vijayo bhutir dhruva netir matir mama is one verse. Vakratunda mahakaya surya koti samaprabha nirvignam kurume deva sarvakaryeshu sarvada is one verse, one shloka. And this is 18,000 shlokas. So you can imagine to coin one shloka and get the meaning of that is so difficult and beautifully written in 18,000. What is there inside this one? Entire glory of Paramatma is there. And what we have heard till today in our lifetime about Krishna is from this beautiful Grantha what is here. Whatever we have seen about Krishna in the Mahabharatam, that Krishna which we saw in the Mahabharatam is from here only. We know that Krishna was born to Devaki and Vasudeva from this book only. We know that Krishna played in Gokula as the son of Nandagopa and Yashoda is from this book only. We learnt about Krishna having more punk on his head, peacock feather from this book only. We learnt that Krishna had a flute in his hands from this book. So this is the source of the entire knowledge, I'm telling you. Please understand that this is not at all, this is Sakshat Paramatma what we have in front of us. Sakshat Paramatma in the form of Bhagavatam. So this Puranam, when you say the author of the Puranam, we will find that Bhagavan Vedavyasa Rishi. Bhagavan Vedavyasa Rishi is the original person who entirely got it into his being and then gave it to us. So who are the people to whom Bhagavan Vedavyasa gave this Purana? And how many Puranas are there? There are totally 18 Puranas, and these 18 Puranas, see, even the glory of the Sanskrit language is also very nice, you should understand here. The moment I say, how many states are there in Bharat? 27 states? 27 states. Which are the names of the states? I can know about Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and South I can know, maybe East, but I'll forget. How to remember 18 Puranas? How to remember the names of 18 Puranas? So that also there is a verse. For that also, when you say WHO, it is an abbreviation. WHO is an abbreviation. What does it mean? World Health Organization. Similarly, we have so many ISO, International Standard Organization. We have so many abbreviations. So there is a beautiful verse which makes an abbreviation of the 18 Puranas. You can chant that now. Madvayam Bhadvayam Madvayam Bhadvayam Vratrayam Vachatushtayam. Madvayam. Madvayam means two. Two Puranas begin with the letter Ma. Madvayam. Bhadvayam. Two Puranas start with the letter Bha. Bratrayam. Three Puranas begin with the letter Bra. Vachatushtayam. Four Puranas begin with the letter Va. And the remaining A, Na, Pa, Ling, Ga, Ku, Ska, Ni. So totally 18 Puranas. This is the way our children have learnt in Bharat. The way our children in Bharat, in the Gurukulas, they have learnt is not through writing, not through IT, not through information technology. That technology was from the mouth to the ear, from the ear to the memory. And memory alone, it has been retained for so many thousands of years, it has been retained in the memory, and very difficult for anybody from any other culture to understand this one. It is not written. So that is why we say, as a source of the Bharatiya Samskriti, if you say who is the author of the Vedas, there is no author, one author. All the rishis have contributed to this Vedas. Many rishis have contributed to this, and for our information, even lady rishis have contributed to the Vedas. Even female rishis have contributed to the Vedas. So keeping this in mind, the Puranas. So who is the author of the Puranas? The author of the Puranas is not even Bhagavan Vedavyasa Rishi, because he received it from Paramatma. He received it from Paramatma. He is an avatar of Paramatma himself. So he received it. Whom did he give to? He gave it to his own son, Shuka Maharshi, and to his disciple, main disciple is Shaunaka Rishi, Suta Rishi. He gave it to Suta Rishi. The Suta Rishi is the one who you will find in every Purana. It will begin, Shaunaka Rishi asks the question and Suta Rishi answers the question. So the 18 Puranas. So Madvayam, Markandeya Purana, Matsya Purana. So Matsya Purana and Markandeya Purana. Bhadvayam, Bhagavata Purana, Bhavishya Purana. Bhavishya Purana. Bratrayam, Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Vachatushtayam, Vishnu Purana, Vayu Purana, Vamana Purana, Varaha Purana, 4 Va, and Agni Purana, Narada Purana, Pa, Padma Purana, Linga Purana, Ga, Garuda Purana, Ku, Kuru, Ska, Skanda Purana. So we have the 18 Puranas. So in one verse we can remember the 18 Puranas. So not only this, there are so many beautiful things about this glorious language, Sanskrit of this world. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful, and so much things have been codified and then nicely kept in a capsule in this language. So from the Puranas, now we have chosen the Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana. See the grace what we have received today. Today is the birthday of Bhagavan Narasimha, one of the avatars of Srimad Narayana. Among many avatars which Bhagavan Narayana has taken, 10 avatars are the most prominent avatars. So we say Matsya, Kurma, Varahascha, Narasimhascha, Vamana, Ramu, Ramascha, Krishna, Kalki, Janardana, There are small variations in this one. We will not worry about the variations now because it will take us to deviate from the topic. So Matsya Avatara, Bhagavan Narayana takes the avatara of a whale, W-H-A-L-E, Timingila, not just a fish, but the avatar of a huge whale he takes. That is Matsya Avatara. Kurma Avatara, Bhagavan Narayana takes the avatar of a tortoise. Kurma Varaha Avatara, Bhagavan Narayana takes the avatar, takes the form of a wild boar, Varaha. Narasimha, Bhagavan Narayana takes the form of a half lion, half man avatar. And that is today, Narasimha Jayanti. And then Matsya Kurma Varaha, Narasimhascha Vamana. Vamana Avatara, Bhagavan Narayana takes the form of a very, very short dwarfish Brahman. Vamana. Then Ramu, Ramascha. 3 Ramas have become. First Rama is a Parashurama. The second Rama is Sri Rama. And the third Rama is Balarama. Then Krishna. Then Krishna is also Avatara. Then we have Kalki Avatara. Kalki Avatara is yet to come. We do not, as I told you, many have so much faith. So we pause at this regarding the avatars. Now we are going to start the Bhagavad Mahapurana. Now whatever we are going to do is going to read it, every letter of this knot. We don't want to be carried away by interpretations, but we are going to read the original in Sanskrit verse slowly. Then we will see the English translation by one scholar. Then we will see what we understand from that. The first, before we actually come to the book, we are going to read what is called as the Mahatmyam. The word Mahatmya means the glory of this book. So the glory is not written in this book. The glory of the Bhagavata Mahapurana, the speciality of this Bhagavata Mahapurana is from Padma Purana. Is from the Padma Purana. In the Padma Purana, the glory of this Bhagavata Mahapurana has been So in this, the glory of the Bhagavata Mahapurana is explained from the Padma Purana. So the Padma Purana gives us the beauty of the Bhagavata Mahapurana. So in the Padma Purana we find that there are about 6 chapters devoted only to the glory of the Bhagavata Mahapurana. So when we say Mahatmyam, the word Mahatmyam means Maha means very, very high qualities. And the Mahatmyam comes from the Mahatma. So this Pustaka, even this Grantha is called as a Mahatma. Because it is not just words, it is going to completely change the inner configuration of the human being. It is going to completely alter the configuration of the mind, the intellect, and everything, including the emotions, sentiments, all it's going to alter. So the first thing, what we read is the Mahatmyam. In the Mahatmyam we have a dialogue between Narada Rishi and Bhakti in the form of a female. There is a dialogue between Narada Rishi and Bhakti. When you say Bhakti, it is devotion. So this Bhakti has taken the form of a mother. This Bhakti has taken the form of a female Devata. That is the first one. The second chapter is a dialogue between the Kumaras. The Kumaras are 4 rishis: Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanatkumara, and Narada Rishi. The third chapter is the end of Bhakti's suffering. Bhakti does not suffer anymore. Bhakti itself is suffering. Then fourth chapter is redemption of a priest called as Atmadeva. How he is redeemed, how he is released from the sins what he had accrued. And then fifth one is how Gokarna attained final emancipation or beatitude along with the Gokarna, the name of a boy who was a very wicked boy. How he attained the Vaikuntha along with others because he heard something, he heard the Bhagavata Mahapurana. And then the sixth one is the procedure of hearing Srimad Bhagavata in a week. If you want to hear this Bhagavata in a week, what is the procedure? That is also explained. So these are the 6 chapters which are there in the Padma Purana. So we first start with the glory of Srimad Bhagavata. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahatmyam. Atha Prathamodhyayah. The glorious Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana extracted from the Padma Purana, first discourse, a dialogue between Narada and Bhakti in a living form. So I will chant the Sanskrit portion slowly. So we have the fortune of chanting the Sanskrit. We may not understand, but at least we will chant it. So original we are reading. Remember, we are reading the original Bhagavatam with the original Sanskrit. It will be difficult to chant. Don't worry, just listen to it. If you cannot chant, listen to it. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. We sing the glory of Sri Krishna, who is all truth, all consciousness, and all bliss, who is responsible or who is the cause for the creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the universe, and who puts an end to the Tapatraya, Adhyatmika Tapa, Adi Bhautika Tapa, Adi Daivika Tapa. That Adhyatmika Tapa, having its origin in one's own body or mind. Within our body or mind, the difficulty arises. Adi Bhautika, that inflicted by other creatures. And Adi Daivika, that having its source in natural calamities. So Krishna removes three. So in the shloka you see, Tapatraya Vinasha. In Kannada we say Tapatre. In normal language we say Taparenu Tapatrayila. No problem. Enu Tapatrayila. Tapatraya means three types of difficulties. So we bow down to Sri Krishna. Remember, we are reading the extract from the Padma Purana. It's not the Bhagavata Purana. We are reading about the Bhagavata Purana in the Padma Purana. Yam pravrajantam upetam apeta krityam dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo abhineduhu tam sarvabhuta hridayam munim anatosmi. In this beautiful verse, it is, I bow down to the son of Vedavyasa Rishi. Who is the son of Vedavyasa Rishi? Shuka Maharshi. The word Shuka means parrot. Shuka means parrot. So there is a beautiful anecdote which will come later, why Shuka Rishi was called as a parrot. So here I bow down to Shuka Rishi. Why do I bow down to Shuka Rishi? Because Shuka Rishi, the moment he was born from Vedavyasa, he was 100% devoted to Lord Narayana, right from birth. Not only that, Shuka Rishi was not born as a child, he was not born from a mother. He was born directly from Bhagavan Vedavyasa's body. Not only that, he was born as a youth, as a young boy, and as a young person he did not even turn and look towards even father. He did not even turn and look towards father, he straight away went for tapasya. That was the state in which Shuka Maharshi was there. Therefore, I bow down to Shuka Rishi. And when Vedavyasa Rishi, Bhagavan Vedavyasa Rishi, who is the author of this Bhagavatam, all the Puranas, he was attached to his son. But son was not attached to the father. So Bhagavan Vedavyas Rishi is going behind Shuka Maharshi and saying, Shuka, Shuka, come here. And the answer was not given by Shuka Maharshi. The trees answered. Why do you want to call him? He is already dedicated to God. Leave him. That is the beauty. So I go down to Shuka Rishi. When Vedavyasa, who was born in an island, is called as Dvaipayana. Another name for Bhagavan Vedavyasa is Dvaipayana, because he was born in a Dvipa. When Vedavyasa, who was born in an island, saw his son Shuka going away all alone with the intention of leading the life of a recluse. Life of a recluse means life of a tapasvi. Life of a tapasvi. Even though the latter, that is Shuka Maharshi, had not yet been invested with the sacred thread. He had not gone through the formal ceremony of sacred thread. Nothing. Directly he is going for tapasya. So he was disturbed accordingly and had no occasion to perform any secular or religious duties, not even Chuda karma, not Annaprashana karma, nothing. None of the 16 sanskaras he went through. He is directly going for tapasya. So to perform any secular or religious duties, the sage felt distressed at the thought of his separation from the latter and called out, "Hello, my son, oh my son, oh my son." At that time, it was the trees that responded on his behalf and called out, filled as they were by his presence. The trees also were filled by the presence of Shuka Rishi. I bow down to that juvenile sage Shuka, who, being one with the universal spirit, has access to the hearts of all created beings. So because he was already completely dedicated to God, even the trees were responding on behalf of Shukadev. So the author here, actually, Bhagavan Vedavyasa himself is saying, I bow down to Shuka Maharshi. In other words, you see the Shaunaka Rishi is saying that I bow down to Shuka Rishi. So we pause here for today. We have begun the Bhagavata Mahapurana. Very, very happily we have begun on such a nice day. And every day will be a day of celebration. Every day will be a day of rejoicing. Every day will be a day of complete contemplation on God. Hari Om Tat Sat.